Okay, let's try a new segment. It's called Advice. Dating advice.
Okay, bro. For who? For you? You need
No,
some?
for this guy on Reddit. Or this girl on Reddit.
Well, I can't give dating advice. Actually, I can. Let's see it.
We could give advice. So I'll give you 3 titles and you tell me which one you want to do. Is lack of ambition a turnoff for men? I approached a guy at my gym and it went so badly I'm so embarrassed. How do I weed out the guys that make things sexual so fast?
If we have time, can we just do all 3 of them?
Mans want to do all 3 of them. Sure.
Well, I have things to say about everything, dude. Especially if it's about giving dating advice, right?
Of course.
Because as a old-fashioned conservative Christian man, my dating advice is valid. Unlike these new age libtards,
I'll be the what's it called, devil's advocate in this situation. Okay.
Okay, let's hear it.
I'm 31 female with little to no ambition. Long story short, I work as a bookkeeper, make around 78K a year, and I have no desire to climb the corporate ladder. I graduated with an accounting degree in 2015, and most people attempt to go for a CPA and a master's. Simply put, I'm too tired, lazy, and have too many mental issues to pursue further education. It's a miracle that I can even hold down a job. From a practically standpoint, I don't want to enter into debt. The only debt I have is credit cards I pay every month. I have a car and live with my parents. I do sometimes feel shame because I'm not so ambitious, other than that I'm cute and overall pleasant to be around. I am working with a therapist to sort out my issues, take my meds regularly, and do Pilates 3 to 4 times a week. So as a man, would you find this to be a turnoff? I'm looking for honest feedback because I've never had a boyfriend due to strict parents, mental health problems, as I mentioned before.
The biggest turnoff for a guy, for this girl, is that she's 31 years old. That's the biggest turnoff, right? Just because, women are most attractive between the age of 18 and 22. That's just a fact. That's the study's been done. Men across all age groups find women in that age category the most attractive, right?
However,
now, just because you're not in that age category does not mean you don't have a chance or you can't be cute or attractive.
And
right?
she said she's never had a boyfriend before.
Okay. Not having a boyfriend is not the same thing as having no experience with men.
So that's like a bit arbitrage, but I would assume if she was, a lot like more nervous to like date and whatever, she probably, conserved herself for the most part, I would assume, in this scenario.
Well, that's an assumption.
We can make that assumption for this. Let's say in this scenario we assume that.
I find that very hard to believe, though, because women of all age groups always get approached by men. It's just a fact. Like, you see women on Instagram, like average-looking women getting hit up and DM'd by men all the time.
Okay,
so,
let's just make the assumption for this scenario. Maybe it's not the case, but like, let's say it is.
That it was. She's been a hermit her whole life. She's had no male interaction whatsoever at the age of 31.
Yeah.
I don't know, man, what to do.
This is supposed to be dating advice, sir.
I don't have dating advice for a 31-year-old woman
Okay,
with
but the main thing is that she lacks ambition. Is that a turnoff for men? That was the main thing.
Lacks ambition for what? Her job?
Like, just in general, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to be honest. This is for all the ladies out there, okay? A guy does not care how much money you make. They don't. Guys, like, for women is different. Women, you value a man's worth and his value and what he can produce. Because, historically, men are the breadwinners. Men are the providers. Men are the one who are the head of the family and are meant to, provide something for the family. Whether it is protection, food as a hunter, or, just safety and security for the family.
Yeah,
right?
so it's not...
So when she's saying, does a man find my lack of ambition unattractive or whatsoever, most guys they just don't care.
Yeah, no,
You know
it's
what I
not a turnoff. Definitely not. I would say that if it's hard for you to find someone, then the best way would honestly be, since you're, she's a bookkeeper, the easiest way is to find it in your friend group. So you, as a bookkeeper, like as your job, I would try and be friends with people in your job and try and do things with people in your job. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, finding a partner through work, a lot of people do that.
Well, it doesn't have to even be through work. It's more about being in a social circle and going out with people and doing stuff and putting yourself out there, Because if, your friends...
Go to church. Find a nice church guy, okay? Because if you have no experience with dudes, right? Assuming that, you've never done anything with guys, you're nervous around them, go to church. It'll help your mental health problem too. I can guarantee, and you don't have to pay a therapist for that shit.
All right, next one. I approached a guy at my gym and it went so badly, I'm so embarrassed. So there's a guy that works out at the same gym as me and I found him really attractive. For months, I've been secretly admiring him whenever I would see him. I decided to put in a plan to talk to him and ask him out. I know this is kind of unusual as a woman. I've never done it before, but I decided I should go for it and see how it goes. I didn't want to interrupt him in the middle of his workout. But I decided if I ever see him while he's coming in or heading out, I would talk to him then. I saw him today by the lockers after I finished my workout. My gym uses outside lockers, and I thought it was perfect timing. I said hello and asked him for how long he's been working out at the gym for. He gave me a strange look and told me he's been working out there for a year. I told him that it was the same for me, and I told him honestly that I thought he was very cute, and if he was down, we could grab some coffee sometime. He looked at me with kind of a dirty look and was like, no thanks. I was like, okay, no worries, have a good workout, and walked away feeling so embarrassed. Is this what men feel like after being rejected? You have my sympathies. Honestly, I feel like garbage. I can't even tell any of my friends about this story because they would drag me for asking a man out as a woman. I've never done it before, but I was feeling courageous.
So what she says is that how men feel?
Yeah, so it's
Abso-fucking-lutely. Okay.
like she just feels embarrassed, you know?
Well, you feel embarrassed, but it's just like it's because you get rejected, right? Because when you go out there and you tell someone, "Hey, I think you're cute," or "I want to take you out," it's like cold turkey, like stranger, and then they reject you. Yeah,
But I
it's
think that's
kind of
respectable, you know? I respect
I mean,
it.
sure, it's respectable that you go out and at least ask. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right? So if you go out there and say, "Hey, I think you're kind of cute, let's go out," right? And then you get rejected after, just take it on the chin and move on. You know what I'm saying? Like, because when I was younger and I tried to like ask girls out, I would always get very nervous, right? But then the older I get, the more I'm like, okay, like, who cares? If I just go out and ask whatever the answer, then I know, right? Because the worst thing you can do is like have a secret admirer for a year. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I really like this girl, or I like this dude, I want to, ask him out or some shit, but you keep postponing it and being nervous. Then you're just building up all that emotion and expectations over the year until
Yeah.
you finally rip the Band-Aid and it doesn't go your way. It's better to just be like, oh, she's kind of cute. Start, be friendly, start talking and knowing, and being like, hey, I just out of the blue, let me take you out. And if they say no, okay, great, and move on with your life. You know what I mean? Yeah, is it embarrassing? Yes. Do you have to
No,
go
it's
through?
not embarrassing.
What do you mean?
How is that embarrassing if you ask someone out and they say no? It's not embarrassing. Embarrassing would be you like someone and you don't ask them out.
Yeah, okay, but I'm saying like the social embarrassment. Like she did this in public.
Yeah, it
in
might
a
feel
gym.
awkward.
So,
It might feel awkward or uncomfortable, but I don't think embarrass is the correct word.
Well, as a girl, she felt embarrassed because women do not ask men out. So
yeah, but
when
even
she
guys
did,
get embarrassed or like ashamed or like they feel like shit. But that's just normal. But it's not like embarrassed because it's not like usually like honestly with most of these things people forget it after like 10 minutes, not even 5 minutes. I don't
Yeah.
think you should feel embarrassed. Obviously, you might feel uncomfortable, but that's
okay,
just
but
how
this
you're
is
gonna
her
feel.
first time asking a girl out.
Asking a guy.
Asking a guy out. When I first asked the girl out and like confessed and shit, I felt embarrassed, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're younger, you feel a lot of emotions. Obviously, I don't know how old this girl is, right? But it was her first time asking someone out, which I fully understand why she would feel embarrassed or have, be awkward or have those emotions.
But we respect you for doing it. We respect you. Respectable thing. Women should ask more guys out, especially now. Guys are more and more locked, like uncomfortable with going up to women.
Well, it's not that. It's just that, like, if you ask a girl out, now she records you and posts it on TikTok. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like
So there's embarrassment from that. You know what I mean? Like it's less guys do it because I don't know.
Bro,
behaviors have
there
deteriorated.
was this TikTok story that, like this girl, like, oh my god, it was so funny. You just reminded me of it. So she went on a date, like she didn't record the date obviously, but then I think she left early or after the date she like made a video talking about it, and basically they went to like a fancy restaurant. And then the guy ordered a burger, and then the server asked him, "Oh, do you want cheese on the burger?" And then he was like, "Is it extra?" And they were like, "Yeah, it's $5 extra or whatever." right? And the guy was like,
$5
and the
for cheese.
and the
bro.
guy was like, oh no no no. And after the girl went out, she's like, yeah, I can't go out with this guy anymore because he wouldn't get the $5 cheese.
Okay, but that's just women being women, dude. Okay, like that's just them having high expectations for no reason.
Like, brother, I'm
And,
not
like,
spending
being
$5
petty
on
and shit.
cheese, fam. For a slice of cheese. Anyways, I thought that was funny. Let's get to the last one. How do I weed out the guys that make things sexual so fast? I, 22 female, am new to the dating world. I've been dating for most of 2023, and 3 out of the 4 guys have all made things sexual with me within the first week before meeting me. The 4th guy, it took about a month before he made things sexual, but that ended up as a situationship. Also, none of them wanted something serious. I didn't know that until after they tried making things sexual. But they all called me a baby or some other kind of pet name. I feel like I can't find a guy that wants to be sweet and wholesome with me, that respects me and my boundaries and understands that I want to be safe when meeting and that I don't want to go to his place. What am I doing wrong?
Go to church, okay? Because guys are like vultures. They'll take what they can get, right? So if you go out with a dude, right, who's sexually deprived, right, he's gonna try and who has no values, right, who doesn't value women, who just wants to go out, fuck, and then dispose of you. You know what I mean? Like, what am I gonna say about that? Like, go to places where men have values, right?
But the
where they're
thing is,
raised properly.
It's like
You know what I mean?
sales, right? Like, the thing is, she's only been out with 4 guys, so the sample size is too small. First of all, you kind of have to date a bit more.
Yes, but I'm telling her, if you want to buy food, go to the grocery store. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you want to find a man with values, you go to a place where values are looked up and not looked down upon.
It's like-
right? Like, you don't go to a club to find a husband. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, for
If you want to
sure.
find a husband, you go to a place where a man has values, which is where? Church. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Like
So-
sales. You don't sell someone something that doesn't want to be sold. You find someone that wants to be sold that thing, and then you sell them. There's
And-
also an edit here, like she added more after. She's like, edit, I didn't say I didn't want sex at all before marriage. It's an important part of the relationship for me. I just want to wait until we know each other, at least after the first couple of dates or first couple of months.
I mean, I don't condone sex before marriage, but if that's what she wants to do, then that's her right to do it, right? She has to understand that even men with values, guys will just make things sexual, right? I understand that, like, it will make women uncomfortable in some sense, but sexuality is a part of the relationship, right? So if you go to a church and find a man with value, which what I would recommend her to do, you will still have to bring up the conversation of, like, sex and, like, contact and, like, all this other
Yeah.
stuff that comes around in the relationship.
Yeah,
right?
but I feel like in this generation, it's so like accepted. It's kind of like you meet the
Well,
first
yeah,
day,
well, that's the
one night stands.
But that's just, the flaw in our society and the way people think of, like, yeah, I'm just going to go on Tinder, go out, and it's like, I don't even know the girl's name, but I've, had sex with her.
Mhm.
Which I think is, like, fully dumb,
Like,
bro.
at least a few months, fam. You know what I mean? Like at least bare minimum a few months. If you like have respect for yourself, you know what I mean. If you have some respect for yourself.
If you have respect for yourself and your future spouse, wait till marriage for
Okay.
them. Okay.
Good one, sir.
What do you mean? That's the highest value, bro. That's
I
the highest
guess.
respect you can give
I
to your
guess,
future
but
spouse.
That's a bit extreme, I would say.